Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you an audio commentary or a shoutcast between WemadeFox Moon and World Elite Pepsi Infi here on Echo Isle. This is from the, if the website is correct, the quarterfinals of this particular of those of the most recent 2009 World Cyber Games in Chengdu, China. We do have an early militia now coming out to try to do some harassment on an early Ancient of War, as many Night Elf players like to do. Excuse me, like to do early Ancient of War creeping. So the militia is now going to be heading over to the south and is going to catch this Ancient of War. Now it looks a little bit too far for the militia to actually draw over the aggro over there. So not quite sure if he's going to be able to do that. Now at Pepsi Infi now gonna go ahead and build a scout farm instead of trying to draw that aggro, knowing that Moon's Ancient of War is pretty well protected in that position. We do have an early standard barracks and a standard altar of kings coming in from Moon, so we'll see if Moon decides to go with the Demon Hunter or the Warden, and he does go with the Warden, so the Warden is going to be the first hero. Meanwhile, Infi most likely the Archmage as always. So Pepsi Infi going and deciding to go with an Archmage as opposed to an early Demon Hunter that I've seen on this particular matchup. A lot of people don't understand why the Archmage has been chosen recently, especially against Night Elf players, as the Shadow Strike and the mana burn from the Demon Hunter just counteracts the Archmage oh too well. But at the same time, the Demon Hunter is such a great counter unit to the Mountain King. A Mountain King without mana is pretty much useless. So that's why they're going for the standard Archmage in this particular matchup. We do have a Moon producing an Archer, Ancient of War, going to try to draw in some aggro with that single Archer shot, and now the Ancient of War is in position to do some tanking as the Warden is going to head over in from the south. At the same time, we're going to have the Archmage now head to the south, perhaps bring some militia with him, and do some militia creeping. So do we have an early footman? We do not have any early footmen anywhere trying to do some additional harassment, but we do have two scout farms coming from Pepsi Infi. So Infi will know exactly what everyone is doing at any given time. The Warden currently slowed, while that Moon's Ancient of War is in a little bit of trouble right now. Needs to really try to repair some, just really try to tank some additional damage, down to 44, 54 hit points, and now is trying to get some additional damage, and is going to be able to barely make it as those units are now focusing down those other units as well. The units from the north were also drawn in somehow. At the same time, we have Infi doing an early expansion attempt, trying to creep out this southern location, which makes sense in order for him to creep that earlier green camp and now get level 2 after he clears this Ogre Magi and this level 3 Troll Trapper. So perfect level 2 after he kills this Ogre Magi, and then probably going to build some towers in position in order to protect this expansion. Warden now fighting off an additional unit over to the north. We do have a Tree of Life now being built as well, so we're going to have some expansion coming in from Moon. So far, great game so far. I've already casted game 2. I did this a little bit out of order, not knowing what games were in position anywhere. Ancient of War now tanking for this orange camp over here as well. Warden sits with a nice Ring of Regeneration, so at nighttime we'll be able to hide and regenerate some hit points. So that's a very nice item as well. Infi, forced to, in order to make sure that this expansion goes up, needs to stick close by. We do not have a second farm here in order to close off this wall in yet, so a little bit interested on how that's going to look. We do have the Warden now coming in across the map. Perhaps we'll pick up a Boot to Speed and a Staff of Teleportation. No, actually, what is he going to do? She is picking up a Boot to Speed and selling a Ring of Regeneration and picking up a Staff of Teleportation. So standard fare for the Warden. The Warden probably now trying to teleport, not quite sure where he's teleporting. Oh, teleports to the north side with that Wisp in there, and very nice early Fan of Knives, getting a level 2 Fan of Knives, taking down a lot of peasants. Moon is going to wreak a lot of havoc as more peasants continue to go down. No blink, just a Shadow Strike on that unit, and a lot of damage being dealt. We do not have Dust of Appearance being researched at this time, but there is no additional mana. The Warden should really try to teleport out of there. Is she gonna hide? No, yeah, she is gonna hide. And now sitting at 110 hit points, Archmage was going to be forced to purchase Scroll of Town Portal, or purchase Dust of Appearance, but that's really far. And we have Mercenaries now heading over to the expansion. No, not heading over to the expansion. Warden just still sitting there, trying to get out of there. The Water Mantle may be able to block it. Oh no, is not able to block it. Warden down to 84 hit points, does not have Blink. and is going to escape with 67 hit points. The expansion to the south is up and running, and we do have a scout tower which will be trained to an arcane tower momentarily. Over here to the south, we have an Ancient of War now trying to creep out this Ogre Magi camp, and a Tree of Life heading around the corner with Moonwell being produced in tow. We have a Tree of Ages currently being teched, so Moon will be ahead in the economic game compared to Infi, as the Archmage is now trying to creep out this mercenary camp over here to the south, picks up some mercenaries of his own. Don't see a Troll Shadow Priest yet. That's a little bit of a surprise. Does have a Talisman of Evasion as well. So we have the Warden now coming into the south, gonna pick up a nice Gloves of Haste. Does have two Gloves of Haste. Probably wishes she was a Demon Blade Master right now, but you know. Anyways, heading back over to the Goblin Merchant Shop, units are going to be coming across, so we may have a little bit of a push coming in from Moon onto the main expansion right now. We do have the Town Hall getting some additional towers in position, and this small army is going to run into the bulk of the army of Infi and is going to have to go ahead and pull to the back. We do have Moon. I don't think Moon has an Ancient of Wonders up anywhere on the map yet, so no Clarity Potions, unfortunately. So only has mana left over from those Moonwells. Archmage now trying to pull some of those creeps to the backside, and now the Warden is going to find this, and finding that there are no real creeps there, might be able to pick off some of them. There is a Tome of Agility +2. The Warden gets off a nice Fan of Knives and picks up the Tome of Agility, so additional +2 attack for that Warden and additional armor. So great play coming in from Moon. Now let's see if Warden's going to get off another Fan of Knives. He has another Fan of Knives and a lot of low hit point units right now. Those two Water Elementals doing a good job of just tanking that front of there, but the Warden's now sitting at level 4. The Tree of Ages should be teched in just a moment, already there, and we should most likely see a Pandirian Brewmaster join in on the fight in order to round out this area of effect damage. Now, running over here, we do have a Staff of Teleportation, and we do have the Ancient of Wonders in play. We do have a Clarity Potion being used in order to get some additional mana, and the Warden once again now heading back out. Ancient of War ready to creep out that middle portion, and the Archmage is going to run into the army. Does not like what he sees, and now decides to head back north. The main army still sticking close to home in order to fight off any attack from that Warden. Meanwhile, the Warden is now picks up a potion of mana as well, so the Warden has a lot of mana on her, and is now heading back to the north, perhaps not knowing that there are arcane towers and guard towers being produced right now. Main army of Infi now trying to head to the north, perhaps trying to go to the marketplace, and at the same time the Archmage is just running around the map. So both players just somehow on this really small map avoiding each other's armies, even though everyone is in transit. An Ancient of War is now getting Vorpal Blades, and we have a proxy Ancient of War for ballistas coming in. Now Warden is going to go and take down this creep camp, and I do not think he is going to, we are going to see a secondary hero. It may just be a single Warden at this time. I do not see any training from the center of the map, and with this Wisp over here, should be able to creep that out if they really wanted to. Or not creep that out, and pick up an additional hero if he really wanted to. Now we do have a Water Elemental trying to do some additional damage over here. Warden now heading back to the north, perhaps try to head over to the marketplace and do some creeping over here. Yeah, we have an Ancient of War, so the Warden's going to get to level 5 in a hurry. I do not see any Ancient of Lore. Oh, yes, we do have one Ancient of Lore producing Dryads, but no Bears for any additional healing. And the Warden is now sitting in the middle of this, getting Troll Shadow Priest for the healing. Another Tome of Agility, so that Warden has a lot of additional armor and damage coming in from that Tome of Agility. Stay tuned for part 2 of this replay between Infi and Moon here on Echo Isle.